Hi, this is Jeff Mitchell with the Golf Standard. If you're a pretty serious golfer or even just want to improve what you're doing, there are a lot of things you can do in practice that are going to really help. How hard do you practice? I think that you should grind in practice. I think you should work very hard. And the reason why you would do that is because that way, once you get on the golf course, you're prepared for what you're going to see and you're going to be better at your performance. I even keep my notes with me. I've been reading right here about what I intend to do today as far as practice is concerned. And one, I never practice without a script. I'm going to always write down what I want to accomplish, and I'm going to really stick to that, and I'm going to be very demanding of myself. So one of the items on my list today is I'm just working on some fairly short range pitch shots. I have a towel set up out here at 15 yards. Now one of the things I want to do obviously is I want to practice trying to hit shots and I want to land it on that towel. But to really grind, I want to try and make sure that I set the same circumstances that I would put myself into if I were on the golf course. So in this circumstance, I'm going to force myself to hit that towel 10 times before I can go do anything else. And if I can't hit that 10 times, then I want there to be some kind of a consequence. Maybe I don't get to play golf today. Or more importantly for me, maybe I can't have any ice cream this week. Something like that. It has to be something that is particular and significant to you, but make sure you have a consequence for all the different things that you're trying to accomplish. So another example is to play the golf course on the driving range. The very first hole that I'm going to play today is a par 5. It's a little bit into the wind. I'm not likely to reach that green in 2. So I'm going to rehearse that hole in advance just so I don't have to make decisions once I get there. So I pulled out a driver, I pulled out a fairway wood, and I pulled out a sand wedge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit each of those shots in the order that I anticipate that being used when I'm on the golf course. And to make sure I'm being really specific and that I can be really prepared when I get on a golf course, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have my rangefinder with me on the driving range. Every time I hit a golf shot, I'm trying to make sure that I get the result that I intended to get. I want to try and make sure that I can see if there's any difference in the way the ball is reacting. Maybe it's a little colder today, a little more humid, you got a little wind in our face. I want to try and make sure that I'm ready for the things that are going to happen, and a rangefinder is one of those items that can really help a lot. The next is I try to always have a yardage book with me, and I can look through that. I can rehearse some other holes. I can go out and play, and if I'm prepared for that, I'm going to get better results. And there might be a couple holes out here that it doesn't really fit my eye. It doesn't suit my game. Well, I can kind of get into my yardage book, look at that hole, try to anticipate what type of situation I'm going to have when I get out there, and I can rehearse that right here. But I'm going to try to be very specific, and I'm not going to let myself get away with anything. Again, I want to try and make sure I have some consequences. I want to grind just as hard here as if I were actually on the golf course. Another thing I might say about grinding is you want to make sure you're spending your time on things that are going to have a real impact on the way you play. Something like making 50 3-foot putts in a row. As you go through this, it can be very significant. Once you start making a lot in a row, if you miss, you have to go back to 0. And that can really test you emotionally. When you get on the golf course, if you knew you would never miss another 3-footer, I think it's going to have a very positive effect on the way you play. But if you're going to truly grind, make it something that is almost impossible to finish. 3-foot putt, 50 in a row, a little bit of practice, you can do that. You might try it at 4 feet, or give yourself a putt where you have a little bit of a slope, a little bit of a break to it. Just use those as examples, but be creative. Find some things in your game that are making a significant impact on results, and be creative with that, and make sure you have consequences. Grind in your practice. Enjoy the game. Until next time.